trip and post-trip inspections expectations video. This video will help you understand the minimum expectations that management has for vehicle inspections. Why do we conduct pre- and post-trip inspections on our vehicles? It's not just a federal regulation. We want to do it for your safety, the safety of the public, and to ensure we're taking the best care of our vehicles possible. We want to find problems early. You're the professional drivers and you know these trucks and how they operate. If you don't say something, how can your managers get the trucks fixed in a timely manner? Remember, this is your profession and your responsibility. It's recommended that you find a routine that works for you and always follow the same path. Russell's going to show us around his truck. The first thing he does every day is to take a broad scope look at the truck. Can he see any leaks or obvious problems as he walks up to the truck? You'll be less likely to miss important safety issues if you have a specific routine. Russell looks underneath at the headlights and at the windshields. Note that windshields must be free of discoloration or damage in the area extending upward from the height of the top of the steering wheel. If you have any problems with your windshield, note it on your inspection report. Russell always starts on the driver's side. He opens the hood and checks the oil first. Of course, you might have a different routine. Notice how Russell puts his hands on everything to see if there's anything loose while he looks at other fluid levels. He's also going to look at his belts. Everything inside the truck, he's going to touch it to make sure that he's satisfied. He's been doing this a long time and he takes it seriously. Everything should be secure inside that engine compartment. When he walks around the truck, he checks every tire, even the inside of the tires. The regulations for the tires are that drivers cannot operate their trucks with any of the following defects. They cannot have body ply or belt material exposed through the tread or sidewall. They cannot have any tread or sidewall separation. You can't drive with a flat tire or with an audible leak. All tires on the front wheel of a truck or tractor shall have a tread groove pattern depth of at least 4/32 of an inch when measured at any point on a major tread groove. Don't measure where tie bars, humps, or fillets are located. All other tires shall have a tread groove pattern depth of at least 2/32 of an inch when measured in a major tread groove. Again, the measurement shall not be made where tie bars, humps, or fillets are located. On the passenger side, Russell looks and touches at everything again. He looks at the trailer as he makes his way down the passenger side. The trailer should have a minimum of 50% reflective tape, and all lights must be intact. Russell will ensure they're working when he turns the truck on. He looks under the trailer. Pre- and post-trip inspections do not require a driver to get under the truck or trailer, but Russell gets under far enough to make sure he's satisfied that the frame is not rusting, there's no other problems. While Russell's inspecting his trailer, let's talk about items that you should be looking for. Suspension system defects such as cracked or broken spring hangers, loose, cracked, broken, or missing frame members, exhaust system, loose, broken, or missing pipes, mufflers, tailpipes, or mounting brackets and clamps. Ensure your mud flaps are intact. We've had inspectors write us up for mud flap violations frequently. It's better, easier, and cheaper to get them replaced if they're tearing than to get a violation. As he gets to the back of the trailer, he checks his forklift. He does a complete check of the engine, he looks at the tires, and he checks the oil. Now Russell's headed up the driver's side of the trailer, and he'll check under the trailer and look at the tires on this side. Russell looks at the chains. You're required to have them available regardless of the time of year. If you have air brakes, you need to check the lines. They should not be hanging so low that they rub on any part of the trailer. Check to make sure they are well hooked on. If there are any rub spots on the lines, please comment on the pre or post trip inspection report so the process can get started to get them replaced. When Russell gets back to the driver's side, he gets in the cab and checks the emergency equipment. Here's what you're required to have: a fire extinguisher that's readily accessible and securely mounted to prevent sliding, rolling, or movement. Spare fuses, at least one spare for each type and size needed, and warning devices, either 3 bidirectional emergency reflective triangles, or you can have flares, either 6 fusees or 3 liquid burning flares. Also ensure you have the annual inspection in your glove box. It isn't actually required that you have a sticker on the outside of the truck, but you have to have proof of annual inspection somewhere. Other important documentation is your registration and insurance. And if you're traveling more than 100 air miles, or you're going to be on the clock more than 12 hours in a day, you have to have a logbook for that day. With the truck started, he looks one last time at the engine compartment with the truck running, closes the hood, and begins to look at his lights. Yes, you will have to walk back and forth to properly check all the lights. This is our most commonly cited violation. As professional drivers, you should be noticing which lights need replacing and telling the appropriate person so that you don't get stopped for this violation. Please ensure all lights are working both pre and post trip. When Russell gets into the cab, the first thing he does is he checks his seatbelt to ensure it works. He looks at his dash lights, checks his windshield wipers, and his heater. Next, he's going to check his brakes. After the vehicle's been idling for a minute or two, ensure the air pressure indicator is over 100 psi and release the parking brake. Charge the trailer brake and apply the foot brake. Turn off the engine. The air pressure should not be leaking more than 4 psi per minute. If you watch it for 60 seconds, it should not drop more than 4 psi. Turn the key back on and pump air pressure down. Notice where low pressure indicator turns on. It should activate by 60 psi. While we wait for Russell to do all of this, let's talk about pre-trip and post-trip inspections. Post-trip inspections are required. You've been driving the vehicle all day, and this is the time to notice any problems or issues and get corrections started before you drive again tomorrow. Pre-trip inspections are important because you can check items that are affected by heat that you cannot check after driving all day. Any inspection where a safety issue is found must be documented. If any item is documented, it must be signed off before the next trip as fully corrected or not being a safety hazard. It would be rare to document a corrective action as not being a safety hazard. If it's not a safety hazard, such as air conditioning not working, then you really don't need to document it on an inspection report. Every day you will need to fill out inspection reports on the truck, trailer, and forklift. You are the professionals. Are you taking this seriously? And if not, why? The safety of your job starts with you. If you have any questions about pre and post trip inspections, please contact safety or contact your manager.